सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। शुकासारिखे पूर्णवैराग्यजाचे वसिष्ठापरिज्ञानयोगेश्वराचे कविवाल्मिका सारिखा मान्य ऐसा नमस्कार माझा तया रामदासा। गणाधीश जो ईश सर्वा गुणांचा मुळारंभ आरंभ तो निर्गुणाचा। नमो शारदा मूळचत्वार वाचा गमो पंथ आनंत या राघवाचा। जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ। Explaining the concept of Brahman, which is beyond the perception of the senses, beyond the thoughts of the mind and concepts of the intellect. Samarth Ramdas Swami in verse 171 said that this Sara, this essential reality, Sachara, though it is in everything, te chorale se, it remains hidden. Why? Ihi lochani pahata drishya bhase. Because what can be perceived by the eyes is only Maya created world. Brahman cannot be perceived by the eyes. Nirabhasa nirgunate akalena. That nirabhasa, that reality which has no attributes, no qualities, no form, nirguna nirakara Brahman, te akalena, that cannot be understood. Ahanta gune kalpita hi kalena. And along with the ego, the identification with not self, identification with body, mind, intellect, that reality cannot be perceived, cannot be realized. Now this concept of reality not being seen and having been seen, this he explains in the next verse through the beautiful concept of avidya maya and vidya maya. We had seen in the last session also, Maya is creative power of the Brahman which is inherent in Brahman. And therefore, when that Brahman plus Maya, it is associated with that creative power, we call it Ishvara. And we call that Ishvara as the creator of the entire world. So this Maya creates. But at the same time, what does it do? Sphure vishayi kalpanate avidya. It creates the world and then it keeps us entangled in the world of objects. Vishayi kalpana. This is avidya. This is avidya means this is a result of or effect of avidya maya. Avidya maya, we said, has two powers. One is called as avarana shakti, veiling power, and second is called as vikshepa shakti, projecting power. So Avarana Shakti, what does it do? Avarana Shakti covers the self from us, covers our own real nature from us, and therefore we don't know what is our true nature. And once that real nature is covered, second power, Vikshepa Shakti, shows something else as our nature. It says this body, mind, intellect is me, and therefore all these objects, all these people are my. This is what Avidya Maya does. Avidya Maya creates Ajnana and Moha. Ajnana, non-apprehension of the reality. And Moha, delusion, means misapprehension of the reality. I don't know the self and I think body, mind, intellect is the self. These two things are done by Avidya Maya. Now, if you want to get rid of these two things, what is the solution? Solution is not Brahman. Because Brahman is not opposed to Avidya Maya. Brahman is the substratum of even Avidya Maya. Solution is Vidya Maya. Sphure Brahmare Jana Maya Suvidya. It is that power which creates the realization of Brahman, which creates self-knowledge that will destroy ignorance and its effects. So if Avidya Maya had two powers of Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti, what is the power of Vidya Maya? Viveka Shakti, power of discrimination, which will result finally in Atma Jnana. This Atma Jnana, which is going to destroy Ajnana, both are on the level of Maya. Very important concept in Vedanta. Knowledge of the self is at the level of ignorance of the self. It is not at the level of self. Why? Because it has got a very specific purpose. And what is that purpose? That purpose is to destroy the ignorance. So if Jnana has to destroy Ajnana, it has to be on the same level. Remember in the example, sun is covered by clouds. Actually what is happening? Our vision of sun is covered by clouds. And to remove those clouds, sun cannot do anything. Actually speaking, sun is not even covered. The very fact that you are able to see clouds is in the light of the same sun. So actually sun is not covered. But we don't see the sun clearly. So what has to remove the clouds? The wind has to remove the clouds. And wind has to be on the level of clouds. Very important. If wind is at our level, it will not remove the clouds. If wind is at the level of sun, it will not remove the clouds. Wind has to be on the level of clouds. In the same way, Atma Jnana or Jnana has to be at the level of ignorance. What do you mean, Veji? Right now we are at the level of Moha. We are deluded. Okay? So if Jnana happens at this level means for our intellect, I am Brahman. Okay, very good, I am Brahman. Clear? Yes, yes. What is it? I am Brahman. I am Brahman. Has it removed the ignorance? No, it has not removed the ignorance. Why? Because Jnana has not reached the depth of ignorance. So deeper is the ignorance which makes me feel that I am not the self, I am not Satchidananda, I am not Brahman, I am this body, mind, intellect, I am this jiva, I am this individual ego. The deeper that ignorance is, that much deep knowledge has to go. Then only it will remove the ignorance. Always imagine that there is a glass, okay? And in that glass water is there. At the bottom of the glass something has fallen, okay, and you can see that something has fallen. Now if you want to remove something that has fallen, if you keep moving your finger on top, will that thing be removed? No. You have to take a spoon that will go up to the bottom, put that spoon up to the bottom and then slowly take out whatever is there. In the same way, ignorance has gone deep in us. I may say with my mouth, I am Brahman, but I don't feel it. Why? Because ignorance has gone very deep. For so many births, we have been carrying this ignorance and strengthening it. So the depth to which the ignorance has gone, avidya maya has gone, to that depth vidya maya has to go. And when vidya maya goes up to that depth, it removes that ignorance in a flash, in a moment. And the moment that self-knowledge destroys ignorance, its job is over. It doesn't have to do anything more to reveal the self to us. Not required. Why? Self is self-revealing. Once the clouds are removed by wind, nobody has to show us the sun. Wind doesn't have to remain. Hey, see, here, sun is there. Wind doesn't have to do that. Why? Sun is self-luminous. I am not able to see it properly. Why? Because of the clouds that are covering. So the moment wind removes clouds, sun is shining by itself. No need of anything else to show us that sun. In the same way, self-knowledge, when it goes to the depth where the ignorance is and reaches there, it removes the ignorance in a moment and it also vanishes. Why? Self-knowledge is not required to reveal us the self. So avidya maya has created ignorance and delusion. Vidya maya creates the self-knowledge, which is the counter of that ignorance. Is this concept clear? Such concepts you will see of Vedanta clarified in Atma Bodha very beautifully. We took one example of Megha Paya Amshumanyava, when the clouds are removed. There is another verse in Atma Bodha also which explains that Ajnana has reached the state of Vasana. They have become so deep rooted that they have become impressions. And therefore, Brahmasmiti Vasana, the Atma Jnana also has to become that deep. It also has to become Vasana. So, Ham Brahmasmi Vasana, that Brahmacharya Vritti has to become so subtle and so deep that it reaches the depth of ignorance and then it removes. Roga Nivarasayanam, it says. Shankaracharya says in Atma Bodha, how does it do? Harati avidya vikshepan roga nivarasayanam. It removes avidya, ignorance, and its vikshepa and its results. Like what? Like the diseases are removed by the medicine. Medicine has to reach up to the disease. Isn't it? My stomach is paining. Okay? Stomach is paining. So doctor gave me medicine. Tablet. I take that tablet and I keep looking at the tablet. Will my stomach pain go away? Why? Veji, I have got tablet. That is okay. But having got that tablet, you have to swallow the tablet and the tablet has to reach the stomach. Then it will work and it will remove the ache, isn't it? You keep wondering, you keep looking at the tablet. Or best, even better, behind the tablet all the description is written of the tablet, what all things are ingredients of this tablet and what it is made up of and how much percentage of what is mixed. You memorize that whole thing. Do you think the stomach ache will go by that? It won't go. Doctor has given me something, I have to open that medicine and take the medicine. In the same way, I keep memorizing verses. I am Brahman, Nirgunam, Nischalam, Nirvikaram, Nirakaram. you do that, there is no problem. But that has to become a thought which is so thin, so subtle and so deep that it removes the ignorance. Clear? This is the concept of avidya maya and vidya maya. So maya has both facets. That's why we should never just look at avidya maya and say, what is this? Bhagavan, why did you create maya? Or that maya is the solution also. Maya is everything. Yes, avarana vikshepa has created all these things, but there is viveka also. Also, I don't remember whether I told you last time, this avarana vikshepa and viveka is what is called as three gunas. Did I tell you? I hinted at. Okay, good. So tamoguna, rajoguna, sattva-guna, these are the three gunas of Maya, no? Isn't it? We say, Daivi Yesha Guna, Maya Duratya, Trigunatmika, we say. Its Adhisthana is Brahman and it is Trigunatmika. It has got three gunas, three qualities. What are they? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So Sattva, Maya Sattva Guna is Vidya Maya. That is Viveka Shakti. Maya's Rajoguna is Vikshepa Shakti. And Maya's Tamoguna is Avarana Shakti, Ajnana. Okay. All three facets are there. So if Tamoguna, Rajoguna is more, to deal with that you have to increase Sattva Guna. Then they will fight with each other and Sattva Guna will remove the Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Sattva Guna will remove Tamoguna, Rajoguna will go on its own. That is how it works. Right? That is what we saw. Now, Samarth Ramdas Swami also explained how Avidya Maya covers the self and how Vidya Maya removes that covering of the self. 173 explained, Swarupi Udela Ahankara Raho Tene Sarva Acha Dile Vyoma Paho Disha Pahata Te Nisha Vadata Hai Viveke Vichare Vivanchu Nipahe. This Ahankara ego is this Vikshepano that has already covered the self and therefore Tene Acha Dile Sarva Vyoma Paho. You look at this like space, no? It has covered everything. And when the sun is covered, everywhere you look, it will be like a deep darkness. Example was given of Rahu. Rahu eating the sun, what we call as eclipse, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, whatever we want to call. So when that Rahu covers the sun, everything looks to be dark. Right? But don't worry. That will go away and sun will come back. Viveke vichare vivanchu nipahe. So use that Viveka Shakti, inquire, do vichara, and by that what will happen, that like Rahu is taken away, that Avidya Maya will also be taken away. Jaya chakshune lakshita lakshavena. Bhava bhakshita rakshita rakshavena. Kshayati tato akshayi mokshadeto. Daya dakshato sakshine pakshageto. What a beautiful thing he said. That which is seen through the physical eyes is not seen. The Atman, the self is not visible to the physical eye. Jaya chakshune lakshita lakshavena. You try to see it with the physical eye, it won't be seen. And once it is seen, bhava rakshita, bhava bhakshita, once it has eaten the samsara, once it has destroyed samsara, rakshita rakshavena. Even if you try to hold on to it or protect it, it will not be protected. Samsara will be gone, will be destroyed. Kshayati tato, it is beyond kshaya. Akshayi mokshadeto. And therefore it gives unending liberation. Akshayi. Daya dakshato sakshine pakshageto. And as Ishvara, he is daya daksha. He is expert in compassion. And therefore sakshine, as witness, pakshageto, he takes your side. So now from that, he takes the concept of Ishvara and starts to explain this concept from verse 175. What is this Ishvara actually we are talking about? Who is this Ishvara? So first he said, Vidhi Nirmita Lihito Sarvabhali. Nirmita, the creator, Vidhi, Brahmaji, he writes on everybody's forehead their destiny. Parilihita kona tyache kapali. But who writes his destiny? Haru Zarito Loka Samhara Kali. Lord Shiva, Bhagwan Shivji dissolves the entire world at the time of Pralaya. Parishevati Shankara Kona Zali. But who will burn Lord Shiva at the end? That is the supreme Ishvara we are talking about. What is it that he is going to explain now? Let us see beautiful verses. Verse 176. Jagi dvadashaditya he rudra akra asankhyata sankhya kari kona shakra jagi devadhundalita adhalena jagi mukhyato kona kaisa kalena. Jai Jai Raghuvir Samartha. He says, in the world there are so many gods. Jagi Dwadasha Aditya. We speak of 12 Adityas. Generally when the Counting is done, no? All the devatas, etc. we speak of, there are 12 Adityas. They are the sons of Aditi. Aditi and Kashyapa Prajapati's sons are called as Adityas. Vamana Bhagavan is also one of them. Indra is also one of them. So, such 12 Adityas are there. Hey Rudra Akra and 11 Rudras are there. Ekadasha Rudra we say. Different aspects of Lord Shiva. Ekadasha Rudra. Asankhyata Sankhyaat Kari Kona Shakra. Shakra means Indra. There are so many Indras moving about, innumerable. Why? In each Brahmanda there are Indras. So who can count how many Indras are there? Jagi Deva Dhundalita Adalina. If you try to search for God like this in the world, you will not get it. You will not get it. Why? Jagi Mukhyato Kona. Who is the main God? Kaisa and how is he? Kalena. Person does not understand. What is he trying to say here? See, often it happens that people get confused about who is God. And not knowing exactly who God is, we start to consider many different things as God. So Samarth Ramdas Swami wants to give that clarity on who exactly is God. So first topic he takes up is of devta, a technical term in Vedanta. Devta doesn't refer to God. Devta means deity. 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 What do you mean by deity? When we use the word devata or deity, we refer to Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, these kind of devatas. Okay? All of them are jivas who have done lot of punya, because of which they have been given a very high position in Swarga. High position for what? To manage the entire world. Imagine like this. In our world where we are living, we have divided the globe into countries. Nations are there, correct? Nations are further divided into states. States are further divided into small assembly stations, isn't it? Assemblies. Then what happens is, there will be some local person who is supposed to take care of us. So whether it is Nagarpalika or Mahanagarpalika, municipality or Gram Panchayat or whatever, there is some local thing. Now a person starts to serve, becomes leader of a city, then still does good work. Slowly he goes on the level of state and starts to represent at the level of state. What is his job? His job is to take care of the state. So you will have state assembly where different MLAs will be there, no? Member of legislative assembly, those MLAs will be there and they will take care of certain work. Then if that work, if person does still better work, he goes into the center and becomes member of parliament, MP. Starts to represent us in country. He is still supposed to take care of the world. Now he has got this power more and more. How? Through his work. Imagine if he is still better, he will be going to UN, United Nations, etc. Still further. Imagine if he does even more punyas, then he will go to the assembly of heaven, Swarga, and he will be given a portfolio. Like we have here, portfolios are there, no? Agricultural ministry and roads and we have all these ministries, finance ministry and all these kind of things, defense ministry. So like that, there are positions in the Swarga to manage the entire universe. These devatas are jivas who have reached that position through their punya karma. But they are still jivas. Which means what? They are in that position for a particular duration of time. When that duration is over, they will be removed. The next set of ministers will come in their place. Is the concept clear now? These are what we call as devatas. Often you will hear this concept that in Hinduism there are 33 crore devatas. I told you earlier also that's not true. 33 koti. Koti has got two meanings. One is crore. Another meaning of koti is level, type. Uchcha koti, nicha koti, type. So 33 types of devatas are there in our concept. What are these 33 types? So just what he is mentioning, 12 Adityas, 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, Dwadash Adityaha, Ashta Vasu, and then 11 Ekadasha Rudra. So how many over now? 31, isn't it? 12 plus 8, 20 plus 11, 31. And Ashwini Kumaras, they are twins. They are the doctors in the Swarga. That is medical department portfolio, medical science. So these 33 types of devatas manage the entire world. You can say these are 33 ministers having 33 portfolios. These are called as devatas. Okay, and there is a way to approach these devatas and get our work done. Just as suppose there is a pit created in front of my house because of the cars etc. going, and water is getting accumulated there, and because of that it is creating some problem. So I contact municipality in a proper department. Then they will, of course, in human beings, corrupt departments are there, so they will try to put it on other department. They will tell, first you go to road department, then road department will say it is not it is because of water department's leakage. Then go to water department, then they will say no, actually we had done everything. Then this electrical department came and again dug the whole thing, and because of which the the pipeline got damaged and water started. The point is, I have to reach the proper place and apply in a proper way to get the work done. In the same way, when I want something from these devatas, there is a method by which I need to propitiate these devatas, and if I do it properly, they will fulfill my desires. All these methods are given in the Vedas. That's how in the olden days people used to do this yajna, yaga, etc. For what? For different things. Suppose they want rain, they will do a particular yajna. They want lot of grains and lot of crop, they will do a particular yajna. Suppose they are building a house and therefore they want that house to be strong, they will do a particular puja, particular yaga. They want a child, they will do a particular yaga. You must have heard all these things. Putra Kameshti yaga, then Vastu Shanti, and then Bhumi Puja, and all these things you must have heard. What are all these things? These are things that I do, like taking permission from Devata, saying that I am doing this here, please give your blessings. And then what? They help, and then that is how the work gets done. All these things are done by the Devatas. You approach them properly, they will fulfill your desires. But these Devatas are bound by rules. They are not independent. They are not swatantra. They are bound by rules. If particular person does a particular thing in a particular way, they will have to do it. And that is how Asuras used to do it and win over these Devatas. Because Devatas are bound. Then in all such times we must have heard stories in Puranas, Itihasas, etc. Those Devatas will approach Bhagavan. Now we are coming to concept of God. These Devatas are not God, okay? They are deities. I told you they are Jivas. But then they will approach Bhagavan Vishnu or Lord Shiva or Bhagavan Shivji. These are all the, so now what? Now that becomes the concept of God. What is this concept of God? In simple terms I will tell, I will not go in detail. The highest, the truest form of God or nature of God is that of Nirguna Nirakara Brahma. Brahman, which is without any attribute, without any form. Just couple of verses before we said that when this Nirguna Nirakara Brahma is associated with its inherent capacity of Maya, is called as Ishvara, creator. This Ishvara is Saguna Nirakara. It has got some qualities now. Why? Because it is associated with Maya. So qualities of Maya will come to it. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, and then Sarvajñatva, Sarva Shaktimatva, Sarva Vyapitva. All these qualities will be associated with him, but still he has no form. You can't even say he. Ishvara has no form. He, she, that concept also has not come. So Nirguna Nirakara Brahma, Saguna Nirakara Ishvara. When this Ishvara, to carry out certain function of creation, sustenance, dissolution, etc., takes different forms, that same Ishvara is called as Bhagavan, which is Saguna Sakara Bhagavan, with attributes and with form. So as Brahman, it is one, which has no attributes, no form. It is the purest, real nature of Bhagavan, God. As Ishvara also it is one, but it is associated with the power of Maya. And as Bhagavan, it has many forms. This is our concept of God. So in our concept, in Sanatana Dharma, do we believe in one God or many gods? We believe in one God in many forms. Not many gods. One God in many forms. Why it can take many forms? Because it is by nature formless. Something that is formless can take any form. For example, water. Water doesn't have form of its own, and therefore you put it in glass, it will take the shape of the glass. You put it in a bigger vessel, it will take the shape of the vessel. You put it on the ground, it will take the shape of the ground. It doesn't have form of its own, therefore it can take any form. Nirguna Nirakara Brahman, when associated with Maya, becomes Saguna Nirakara Ishvara, and that Saguna Nirakara Ishvara can take different forms, takes different forms, and becomes Saguna Sakara Bhagavan. Is this concept clear? Now, devatas that we saw are none of these three. Devatas are jivas like all of us. Okay, but highly evolved jivas, those who have done lot of punya karmas. That's why they are devatas, but they are jivas. So when we refer to the concept of God, we either speak about Brahman, or we speak about Ishvara, or we speak about Bhagavan. Sometimes, carefully see, sometimes this Bhagavan decides to come on our level of perception to carry out certain function. That is what we call as the fourth thing, avatar, incarnation. Bhagavan Vishnu, Bhagavan Shiva, Bhagavan Ganesha, Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Durga, all these are Bhagavan, but they are not available for our perception unless I do lot of sadhana, propitiate them, and then I am able to see their form. But for certain function, these different forms of Bhagavan, they take incarnations where they are available for human perception, and that is called as avatar, incarnation. So we have Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar, and Dashavataras are there, and Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, these are Purna avatars, Parshurama, all these avatars are there where everybody can see them. When Bhagavan comes as Sri Rama, the entire Ayodhya can see. Everybody in the forest, wherever he is going, even Ravana can see, everybody can see. So, because the same Bhagavan has taken incarnation, we call Sri Rama, Sri Krishna also as God. They are not jivas. Don't get confused. Indra, Varuna, Agni, etc. are devatas, but they are still jivas. That's why you will hear a lot of stories in Rama avatar and Krishna avatar where this Indra, etc. they thought that they are better than these. Why? Hey, human beings, we are devatas. Then Bhagavan had to show them that I may be appearing as human being, but I am still Bhagavan only. All these stories you must have heard. Right? So this is our concept of God. When we say God, first thing we refer to is that Nirguna Nirakara Brahman, which is my own self. I don't have to go somewhere else to seek God. It is my own self. The same Nirguna Nirakara Brahman comes on level of Maya and becomes Ishvara Saguna Nirakara. Same one takes different forms for us so that we can devote our life and we can progress in our spiritual path. He takes different forms, becomes Bhagavan. And sometimes to carry out function, he takes different incarnations also. Is this concept of God clear? Now with this concept, next few verses will become very easy to understand. Let us see. Verse 177. Tutena phutena kada devarana Salena dhalena kada dainyavana Kalena kalena kada lochanasi Vasena disena jagimi panasi. Jai Jai Raghuveer Samartha. Now see how he is explaining. This Devarana, this supreme God, Tutena cannot be cut. Phutena cannot be broken. Chalena, it cannot be moved. Dhalena, it cannot be shaken. Chalena, dhalena, it cannot be shaken, it cannot be moved. Kada dainyavana, it never is in a miserable state. Kalena kalena kada lochanasi, you can never understand it through eyes, means these indriyas, mind, intellect, etc. cannot know it. Vasena disena jagi mi panasi. As long as there is me pana, as long as there is ego, me pana is I-ness. I. As long as there is identification, as long as that ego exists, Vasena Disena, that supreme cannot be realized. This is our concept of God. This is God. As Nirguna Nirakara Brahman, this is God. I am tempted to tell you one more interesting concept. Let me tell. Those who understand, that's not my problem. See, these devatas, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, all these devatas are there, no? They have one more function. Of course, they have functions of taking care of the entire world. So, they will have one department. For example, Agni Devata is fire department. Varuna Devata is water department. Indra is the prime minister. He is the king. He has to do that. But at the same time, on the individual level also, they have certain functions. As Adhishthana Devata. So, for all our sense organs, organs of action, and our inner organs, mind, intellect, etc., there is one Devata associated. For example, Surya is the Devata for our eyes. Fire is the Devata for our speech. Vacho Devata Vannihi, Hastayor Indraha, etc. will be mentioned. Now see this, how beautiful this is. Okay. It is said that this God cannot be seen by the senses. This Brahman cannot be seen by the senses. What it means? It means it is beyond Devatas. Why? Because Devatas are Adhishthana Devatas of Indriyas. So when you are referring to Brahman or Atma being beyond the organs, beyond the senses, mind and intellect, what we are referring to is that God is beyond all the devatas. In Upanishads, they will do it other way around. Upanishads sometimes will show that these devatas try to understand God and they could not understand. In Kenopanishad, for example, you will see Indra Devata is there, Agni is there, and Vayu also is there. And that God appears and says that I can, what is your power? Agni Devata says, my power is I can burn anything. So that Devata gives, that Supreme God gives him one blade of grass and says, burn this. He is not able to burn. Then Vayu Devata comes, what is your power? I can try anything up. He gives the same blade of grass. Try moving this. Is not able to move. Why? All these senses have got these functions because of that Supreme God, because of that Atman, Brahman. That Brahman Atman cannot be perceived by the senses. On the contrary, the senses get power to perform their functions because of that presence of Supreme God. This is the concept. See how logical this religion is? You will not see anywhere it is so perfectly done. Now what? Now I am not happy with all these things yet. Brahman is there, fine. Ishvara is there, fine. But what? Then this God becomes my God. My favorite God he becomes. That is why God is special. Comes the concept of ishta devata. There are so many forms of God. We already said God is one, Brahman or Ishvara you call. That Ishvara takes different forms. But then what happens? Then in these different forms, there is one particular form which I like. It can be Bhagavan, it can be Avatar also. Any one of it. But it becomes my God. My Bhagavan. Right? Now that concept he explains in the next verse. See, verse 178. जया मानला देवतो पूजिता है परी देव शोधु निकोणी न पाहे जगी पाहता देव कोट्यानुकोटी जया मानली भक्ति जे तेची मोठी जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ. जया मानला देव तो पूजिता है. Now what happens is, in all these forms, we have so much of variety. We have Ganpati and Saraswati and we have Guru, Vishnu Bhagavan and Vishnu's avatars are there and Shivji is there and Kartikeya Swami is there. So many gods are there. Dattatreya is there. All these gods are there. Among all of them, I consider some form as my favorite form. I love that form. Then what happens? Jaya Manala Deva, I start considering that form as God. To pujita hai, and I start worshipping it. But slowly I forget that it is just a form. This form is not different from other forms. And sometimes I become fanatic and I start saying there is only one God and that is Shri Krishna. So what about Sri Rama? Sri Rama is not God. What about Vishnu? Vishnu is avatar of Shri Krishna. What nonsense are you talking? No, Shri Krishna is the only God. There are many organizations which believe in this. Why? Because they have become fanatic about one form of God. Then there will be fights. I worship Vishnu, you worship Shiva, so we have fight. Why all this? Because I have forgotten that forms are many but God is one. And what? I have considered the form that I worship to be the only God. Therefore he says the next line, Parideva shodhuni koni na pahe. But nobody tries to search for the real God. What do you mean? The real God is beyond form. We have the concept of ishta devata, we have the concept of worship of God with form, so that through that worship we will become capable of going beyond form. From saguna we can go and go further to Nirguna. If we don't do that, we will be lost in that Saguna. And then we will keep fighting with other people, worshipping other forms. See, all these things have happened in our history, that it is happening even now. Why in history? It is happening even now. And then what happens? Jagi pahata deva kotte anukoti. Millions and crores of devatas you will see everywhere. Somebody will say that no, this is a particular form of God. Shani devata, they start worshipping. Then this form, then that form. And it keeps on growing. Jaya manali bhakti je techi moti. In whichever form I have bhakti, I have devotion in whichever form, I consider that alone as motha, that alone as great. All others are lower. This is not the right concept. Samarth Ramdas Swami is criticizing it. He is telling many forms of God are there. You can choose anyone as your ishta devata, but understand that ishta devata is one form of that Brahman. As Brahman, all forms are same. There is no gradation in Bhagavan. Whether Vishnu is greater or Shiva is greater. A gradation concept will come when both of them are different. When they both are same, how can gradation come? See, it is like I am going to office. Then I am staying at home. Then I am going to some particular place for some social work. Now, when I go to different places, I may take different attires according to the place, but I am same. So, somewhere I will be suited and booted and I will be behaving in a very proper manner, whereas at home I will be sitting in banyan open, no problem. Why? What requires where, I will do accordingly, but I will remain same. In the same way, Ishvara, Brahman is one, manifesting in different forms. You can't have gradations in that. Whether Vishnu is greater or Shiva is greater, or no, Shakti, Devi is greater. No, Ganapati is even greater. That's why we worship in the beginning. They are all one. You can't even say they are all on same level. Why? Because they are all one. One only is appearing as all these things. Samarth Ramdas Swami says, try to realize that one. You may start with worship of anyone, but then realize the one. Are you getting? That is what you should do. Who is that? He explains in the next verse. Let us see verse 179. तिन्ही लोक जेथूनि निर्माण झाले, तया देवरायासी कोणी न बोले, जगी थोरला देव तो चोरलासे, गुरु वीण तो सर्वथा ही न दिसे. जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ. He says, तिन्ही लोक जेथूनि निर्माण झाले. All three worlds are born from where? Taya devarayasi koni na bole. Nobody is talking about that great God. From whom or from where all the three worlds are born. Jagi thorala devato. He is the greatest God in the world. Choralase, who remains hidden in the world. He is available in everything, but he remains hidden. Guru Vinato Sarvathahi Nadise. Now, if you want to see that God, that supreme God, Brahman, you need Guru. Look at Samarth Ramdas Swami's method of introducing things. See, he was explaining Vidya Maya. How individual is ignorant, deluded, and how he can come out of delusion. While introducing that, he explained the concept of Ishvara, saying that to daya daksha sakshine paksha geto. Then he came to the concept of Ishvara, and he explained that Bhagavan is there beyond all the forms of Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. He is the one who writes on the forehead of Brahmaji. He is the one who destroys Shiva. So he is beyond all the three forms. Then there are other devatas also. That also concept he explained. He explained the concept of Nirguna Nirakara, Saguna Nirakara and Saguna Sakara, Avatar. Then he explained concept of ishta devta. Now, through this concept of Ishvara, he introduces the concept of Guru. And he says, if you want to see, if you want to really experience that one God from where all the three worlds are born, who is beyond everything and therefore nobody can talk about him. Taya Devaraya se koni na bole, the second line can be interpreted in two ways. One thing is nobody is talking about him. Nobody is talking about the essential God. Or it is beyond speech. Jagi Thorala Devato. That is the greatest God in the world. Chorala se who remains hidden. Now because he is hidden, if you want to see him, you need Guru. That is how he is coming to the topic of Guru. So next 5 verses, 6 verses we will see, he explains who is Guru, who is really Sadguru, who is not a Sadguru, what are the qualities Guru must have, what are the qualities if he has, he is not called a Sadguru, etc. he will bring. But before that you see this, Tinhi loka jethuni nirmana zale. Now this particular phrase is actually referencing Upanishads. Why? Because when Upanishads speak of God, they explain God in this way. Say for example, Taittiriya Upanishad you say. Taittiriya Upanishad will say that it is that from which everything is born, in which everything remains and into which everything goes. Okay, that is how they will explain Brahman. Bhutani jayanti yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisamvishanti tad vijidnyasasva tad brahma. Are you getting? That from which all the three worlds are born, in which all the three worlds exist and into which the three worlds are going to go. Tad vijidnyasasva. Inquire about that. Why? Tat brahma. That is Brahman. And then the entire description starts in Bhruguvalli. He starts to think about it and then he starts to say that, oh, is this that? Then Guru says, no, still go deeper. Is this that? No, still go deeper. Is this that? He goes. Where he says that now I am left with nothing. I can't describe it. I can't think of it. He says that is it. That is Brahman. Tasmadvad etasmad atmanah, etc. It will continue. From that Brahman or from that self, what you call Atmanah, Akasha Sambhuta, the five great tattvas are born, Mahatatvas are born, space, air, fire, water, earth, and then from their combination, permutation, this entire world, etc., it will continue. Tad vijitnyasasva. So there also what happens is, he is referencing to Upanishad saying that it is that Brahman from which all the three worlds are born, in which all the three worlds exist and into which all the three worlds go. That is real Brahman. Taya Devaraya si koni na bole, which is beyond speech. Jagi Thorala Devato. He is the greatest God in the world. That Brahman, which is Nirguna Nirakara, which is formless and attributeless. It is that Brahman which remains hidden in the world. If you want to know that Brahman, see what happened in the Upanishad. The student went and asked Guru in the same way. Guru vinato sarvathahi nadise. If you also want to realize this one supreme God, you need to find Guru. See how Samarth Ramdas Swami is explaining. That's why I keep telling, many people know they don't understand the depth of Manache Shlok. They think Manache Shlok is something very nice, very good. See, the beauty of Indian culture overall is that it looks very simple on the surface, but when you start going, it is very deep. So are all our saints and their work. You see Shankaracharya ji also, his bhashya is described as prasanna gambiram. It's prasanna, it's very nice to hear, but when you go, it is very deep. In the same way, Samarth Ramdas Swami is this composition. It's very nice on the surface level. Everybody thinks they have understood. But you go deeper, there is so much of depth. He is referencing Upanishads. And he is talking you see how he is introducing one topic. Right? Now, he explains who is the Sadguru. That concept he starts. We will see one verse, remaining we will see in the next class. One verse we will see. Verse 180. Guru pahata pahata laksha koti बहु साल मंत्रावळी शक्ती मोठी मनी कामना चेटके धात माता जनी व्यर्थ रे तो नभे मुक्तिदाता. जय जय रघुवीर समर्थ. अयो Rama. He says, Samarth Ramdas Swami says, Guru pahata pahata laksha koti. If you see around in the world, there are lakhs and crores of gurus who are roaming. He is writing this in 16th century, okay? It is so true even today. But how are they? Bahusala, they are of various types. Mantravali Shakti Moti. They will give you lot of mantras and they will have lot of Shaktis, Siddhis, powers, etc. will be there. But Mani Kamana. But they will have certain desires in their mind. And therefore Chetake Dhata Mata. Therefore, they will perform certain selfish or wrong actions and misguide people because of certain desires that they have. Haven't we seen such people in the world? For some particular purpose that they have. Suppose let us say I know meaning of one particular dharma grantha. I am not referring to any particular religion, but in all religions such people have been there. I know the meaning of certain dharma grantha, then I tell everybody, if you want to understand, you have to come to me. Then what happens? Then I will give the meaning which will help me. Not the exact meaning, but which will keep my importance up. That kind of meaning I start to give, and thus I start to misguide people. I start to tell that these dharma granthas should not be read by everyone. They should only be read by people like Brahmanas and people like me, and you should come to me only if you want advice, and that advice will not be given according to the grantha but according to what I want from that person. So if a king comes for advice, I will say advice is that you should appoint me as your Kula Guru, and my son should become the next Kula Guru. This is my selfish desire which I am fulfilling by the way of this. Such a person cannot be called as Guru. Samarth Ramdas Swami says, Mani Kamana, if he has got desires in his mind, he will perform selfish or wrong actions, Chetake, Dhata Mata, and he will misguide people. Jani Vyartha Reto, such a person is Vyartha, is a waste, he says. He doesn't deserve to be called as a guru. Why? No, Nave Muktidata. He cannot give us liberation. Muktidata Nave. So such a person is not a Sadguru who can have lot of mantras and lot of siddhis, but inside there are selfish desires and therefore misguiding people. Such a person cannot be called as Guru. Further he will explain what are some other things that the Guru should not have, and what are the qualities that make a Guru a real Guru. That we will see in the next class. Okay. Right. Beautiful concepts. And you see, Samarth Ramdas Swami is very straightforward. He is not afraid of anybody. So he will tell what is wrong is wrong. In English they say, calling spade a spade. There is no mingling of the words and no beating around the bush, nothing, straight to the point. One shot, two pieces. That's what he does. We will see in next session. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.